When creating extended use scenarios, we want to start off with our use scenarios. So in this section, I'm actually going to give you 2 use scenarios to do this with. So let's look first though at our use scenarios for the hotel booking system that we already have. So we already have these, and these we're going to see them transformed into extended use scenarios. Another tool that you're going to use is the class diagram for the extended or for the hotel booking system. Now this is the class diagram that you created in the last module, and this I will also be giving you a completed version of this. So you'll use your use scenarios and the class diagram for the hotel booking system to create the extended use scenarios. So jumping over here, you'll also want to have the product backlog on hand, just because whenever we're creating anything in this system, the product backlog is going to be our key to making sure everything is correct and we don't go out of functionality or we don't miss a functionality. So I'm going to keep this handy so that we can validate what we've done afterwards. So I have already completed these. So what we're going to do is walk through these together, and then we will do one example that you'll walk along with me. So let's take a look at this first one in user accounts. It's customer signs up for an account. The first thing I want you to notice is the pattern that we see in the use scenario. So this is going to help us understand when we're going to need to start displaying the system interaction. So let's jump over to this page first. And it shows us, let me zoom in actually a little bit, zooming into about 125 here. It shows us, we see a pattern if we look closely. So where we start off, we're going to have a customer, the customer's going to click something, and then they're going to see something. Then they're going to click something again, and then they're going to see something. So sometimes when they see something, they're going to see a form, right? They fill out that form, and then when they're done filling it out, they're going to click something. So when they are clicking, typically they are clicking something on our application or in our system, and so that is going to invoke the system to go get information. And then when it gets that information, it's going to display it. And then when they're typing something, they're not necessarily invoking our system for any information, right? They're just filling something out. So our system wouldn't need to return anything to them. It would just be waiting for them to do the next click. So here, we're clicking something again, and then we're seeing something again. And in this particular scenario, we have the customer clicking sign up, and then they're going to see a sign up form. Okay, so the user is clicking and seeing, and then entering, and then clicking and seeing. So you're going to see this pattern throughout all of our use scenarios. User clicks, user sees, user clicks, user sees. Okay, so that's how we're going to know where our interactions are going to be. So the next thing we need to understand then is that all of our interactions are going to have to be filtered through the user interface class. So here I am in the class diagram, and we have this class that's central to all our classes. And notice there's a relationship here with most of them. So this is where our user is going to talk to our system. Notice that the only function it has is, the only method it has is display, and the only attributes it has are layouts. And so we have display and layout. So it's going to display, obviously besides add and drop layout, but the only method it has is display. So it's going to be using our calls and our requests to display layouts that it has pre-programmed for each of these views. So whenever we call our user interface, it will be displaying to us a layout, and depending on what we're calling, it's going to go and get information from one of these classes. One other thing I will note before we get started here, looking at the patterns for the extended use scenarios, is that the user interface does not always have to display data. It can display a layout that's such as a form or a notification, and these things are not necessarily going to need anything from our system. For example, let's jump over here. The customer is clicking the sign up button, and they're seeing a form. Does the system need to return data to show a form? Well, in most cases, no. In most cases, it's offering the user a form, and it does not need to get any information from the system in order for that user to fill out the form. It's just going to display a pre-programmed piece of a pre-programmed view for the user to type information into. Okay, with that being said, let's jump into some patterns that we're going to see in our hotel booking system or in any extended use scenario in general.